You're listening to Mad Radio. Mad Radio. Mad Radio. Make a difference.
Quick, me lads! Hoist the rigging! Aye, Captain! Splice the main brace! Batten down the hatches! Aye, Captain! I'm going below deck to get the show started. And now, the man responsible for teaching Gilligan which side port and starboard are on. It's the cross-eyed skipper himself, Brandon McCourty.
Well, thank you, Petey, you dirty dog, you. Hey, welcome in, all you scallywags, you swashbucklers, landlubbers, hornswogglers, and salty dogs, to the Peg Leg Podcast, a show where we delve into the lives of fellow pirates and learn a bit more about the unsung heroes among us all. Arr! This week, we travel to the Rise Up Center and speak to an individual who has been at the MJC for 12 years. Hey, he not only got his AA in General Studies from MJC, but he went on to earn his bachelor's and master's in organizational leadership from Bradman University. He is also a motivational speaker and success coach for his consulting company, Thor, which stands for the House of Redemption. He is also a radio talk show host for Eye on Modesto. He's a video writer. His title is Program Specialist at the MJC's Rise Up Center. Please welcome to the podcast, John Griffin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I've been waiting to get you in here for a while.
Hey, man, it's been, I tell you what, man, it's been a long time coming, man. We've talked about this for, few years?
At least.
Here it is.
At least. Well, hey, you know what? Let's just get right into this thing. How did you find your way to MJC? I mean, that's kind of a loaded question. We've known each other for a little while. I mean, I think we first met when you were a student still at the college.
Yep.
Kind of give us a window into how that whole thing transpired.
It's called necessity is the best way that I can say it. You know,
okay.
I worked, before I got into the college scene, I worked with my hands. I worked in warehousing, and I was successful working in warehousing. And I did it for almost 15 years, working in the warehousing. And something called the Great Recession hit, and things changed. I was making good money. I had a house out in the country, my son and I. It was great living, and I made good money.
Right.
But it came to the place when the recession hit, the doors closed where I worked, and I had an opportunity that was kind of forced upon me to make a choice, and that is go back to school or try to work a bunch of dead-end jobs.
That's a tough one. So how old were you when you had to make that decision?
I was 39 years old.
Oh,
yep.
Goodness.
Single dad, 39 years old.
And I think that we've talked about this in the past a little bit. Were you almost homeless at this point, or?
You know, it didn't start off with homeless, but after I lost the job, I went on unemployment, and as you know, unemployment, you only get half of your income that you had before.
Right.
And that didn't cut the bill. And my son and I, it got really tight, really tough. I mean, we were eating beans and tortillas and cheese. We were eating beans for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then it came to the place where the unemployment ran out. I couldn't find a job. And it was at that point I said, you know what? Maybe I should go back to school. And, you know, family members, friends had told me, hey, go back to school. And I'm thinking, like, why would I want to go back to school? I make money. I got money in the bank. Hell, I got money up under my mattress.
Right.
I got money in my wallet. I mean, I got, you know.
That school's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
I totally understand, yeah.
But I tell you what, when the rug was pulled from under my feet I got a reality check real fast. Like, maybe we need to revisit that idea of going back to school. And I went back to school. And that's how I met MJC.
So then, what was the? You were a student. So how did you get on staff there?
You know, it took a few years. You know, being a student worker, working with the DSPS department, and I worked there for a couple of years actually as a student worker. And then when I graduated, I moved on going into my bachelor's degree. But I had found out through the grapevine of some colleagues of mine that I had acquired over the years of being a student at MJC. They said, hey, there's an opening for then I believe it was called Student Life and Campus Learning. I might be wrong on that.
It's close anyway.
But it's
right.
close. Yeah,
right,
it's
right.
close. But I applied for the job. I didn't think anything about it because I was in school, and then I got a call, come for an interview, and I went for the interview, and then from there on, I got the job. Dude, I was like elated. Now at this time, before that, I was homeless. Me and my son and I were homeless.
Right.
And, I'm still going to school, student worker, but homeless. And it was tough. But, I say by the grace of God, man, it's what opened the door for me is just good people that opened up the door. A friend of mine opened up a room, my son and I. I'm still going to school. However, that's when that job opportunity came around. Just a little bit right from being homeless to, having at least a room to live in. That's when I got that opportunity from colleagues, from the college that helped me out. Like I said, got the interview, got the job. Dude, I was jazzed. And the job was awesome. It was challenging. Oh, boy. Because dealing with some of the students there, boy, I tell you what, I'm not going to put any names. I'm not going to say anything. But for you listeners out there, I know you're listening. Hey, I'll just tell you this. Some of the personalities, shall we say, were challenging.
But luckily you had the background in order for you to, some people, they may not have, what is necessary to talk to these students about. You don't know what it's like, as probably what a lot of people hear from students, but you in particular could say, you stop right there. No. I've been exactly where you are. I know exactly what you're going through, and there is a light at the end of that tunnel.
That's right. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, man, without a doubt.
So where did you grow up? Was it around this area, or where was it at?
My life growing up was pretty interesting. So I'm going to make this the elevator version because
okay.
To tell the story, dude, this would be like, we'd be going on forever.
For a couple hours.
But I was a kid that was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. My mom and dad, my father owned his own construction company, a small construction company. My mom was an underwriter for Hartford. Two educated parents. One's an entrepreneur. One, is obviously works in the executive part of Hartford. And so I grew up living in like Pleasanton, Dublin, what we call upper middle class, maybe even just a slight bit above upper middle class.
Okay.
We lived in some big, giant houses. And, I was a spoiled kid. But some of the stuff that I dealt with, because the neighborhoods that we lived in, there was like maybe 1, 2, maybe 4 black families that lived in a whole entire city.
And was it MC Hammer that lived not too far from you?
No, let me tell you. No, sir. MC Hammer was, let me see, I think I might be a little older than him.
Well, he's from Oakland, but
Yeah.
in that same area is really where he started to find his.
Yeah. I tell you what, it was great living. I dealt with a lot of racism, but let me tell you what was beautiful about it was the dynamics of the family. Growing up there, I mean, the cookouts, the family get-togethers, I mean, it was awesome.
Right.
But now, we moved a lot. So I didn't only live in Pleasanton. I didn't only live in Dublin. I lived in San Ramon, the Vintage Hills. And then there was, because now I'm showing my age, okay? In the 70s, dude, okay, I'm going to take you there. I'm going back to the 70s. Disco time.
Yes.
It was all about divorce.
Oh.
And, yeah, my mom and dad got a divorce. And this was the time Jimmy Carter was in. And we were in another recession. I can't leave these recessions. Gas prices were going crazy.
Yes.
And my mom lost her job. And so, with my mom, living with her, because, she's divorced, single mom, raising my sister and I.
And how old are you at this point?
At this time, I'm about maybe 10 years old.
Okay. All right.
Maybe 10 years old. We moved from what we call the suburbs to Fremont. And I got a first taste of the reality of, like, you're not in Kansas anymore. And I learned some things. Kids made fun of me because of the way that I talked, the way that I dressed. You're not black enough. You're not this enough. And I'm like, wow, this is – okay, so I was not liked because I was black, but now I'm not liked because I'm not black enough. And, dude, it was – yeah, it was interesting.
We're talking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air kind of.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so I moved there and I learned, but then things got even harder than that, and we moved to Oakland. Now, when we moved to Oakland, I got what you call
a street cred.
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
Education, right there.
Education, buddy.
Yes.
I mean, I grew up fast, and I learned, I learned a lot. And my uncles. Yeah, one uncle in particular was in. So that we can keep this PG.
Yeah.
We'll just say he had a way with women where they made him money.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Oldest profession. It's been
Ladies
around
of
for a
the
while.
night.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. But I learned something. Even though I was in that environment, yes, it was tough. Sometimes we wouldn't eat. Rats running through the wall, crime in the neighborhood. But let me tell you something. When you say you're from, you live in Oakland or you're from Oakland, people get, oh man, you're from Oakland. Here's the whole thing about it. As we say, the hood it's not all bad. But if you look at TV, it's always pronounced as like you go there, you're gonna die.
Right.
If that was the case, there would be nobody living in the hood. And so the real story of this is this, man. It has its good ups and it has its downs. And the thing about it is I was fortunate enough to still have family, regardless of the situation that's going on outside, that were still there. I mean, we were a crazy family, no doubt. What you call it, we were, I don't know, dysfunctional. We were functionally dysfunctional. Yeah, that's the best way I could say it. But let me tell you, the things that I got, living that life, I learned to appreciate what I have right now. And it was from that appreciation, and at the same time, it was a hunger to get out of that. And so I was getting in trouble. I'm not going to lie. I was out in the streets, doing what guys do on the corner. And to tell you the truth, my uncle had got into some trouble, and I happened to be rolling with him, and the guys that were going to get him, well, since I was with him, you become a bystander.
Associated.
Yep.
By association.
By association.
That's
You're
right.
all up. There he is.
Right.
And after that, my mom was like, I think it's time for you to go. And my mom was like, yeah, I think you need to go live with your father. And at this time, I was 17 years old. I was barely 17 years old. I finished out my senior year, which took me to 17 and a half. So I graduated, and I was in 17 and a half. I wasn't even 18.
Okay.
when I graduated. But 2 days later, I was gone from the Bay Area, from Oakland, and I moved to a town, Ceres. Bro,
Of
hit the
all
brakes.
the places.
Yeah. Dude, it was,
Quite a culture shock, I'm
oh,
going to
yeah.
guess. Right.
Like Frankenstein shock. You know what I mean? Like, it's alive. You know, it's like, whoa. I mean,
Holy.
yeah, I got, the first thing that I saw, or shall I say, witnessed or experienced when I came to Ceres was like, where are all the buildings? I'm like, man, there's a lot of fields here. There's cows here. There's like llamas. I'm like, what the heck? Yeah, it was just alpacas, I guess
Right.
what you call them.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, this is strange. But when I got here, it immediately grew on me because I'll tell you something. The bottom line, I'm a country boy at heart. Always have been. Always have been a country boy. So coming out of the city and realizing where I was, you could actually, in Ceres, of course, you can't do it now. But back in the 80s when I moved, you could leave your garage door open all night. No one would do anything. And, living in that neighborhood, quiet, I had made a lot of friends. I was like, yeah, this is home. And I stayed here, and, of course, I moved to Modesto, right around the corner, but this has been my home ever since. I love it here.
Well, what are some of your hobbies outside of work?
Now, one of the hobbies that I have, believe it or not, is, I don't know if you could call this a hobby, but it is bikes. Bike riding, hiking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not talking about motorcycles. We're talking about actual
Actually, mountain bikes.
mountain bikes.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
From a kid, I've always been an avid bike rider. I have two bikes. I have two Treks. I have it's called I have a Trek mountain bike.
Mm-hmm.
Cost me, yeah.
It's a pretty penny. Right.
Yeah, it cost me a lot of money.
Yes.
And then I have something called a hybrid, which is like it's a street bike / street bike. So you don't know what it is. You can take it off road, but it is a street bike and it's faster than all get out. That's what I like to do. On my times, I like to just ride. But another hobby that I have is, this sounds strange, is getting in my car and going for a drive and finding a road, whether it's in Modesto or not, and just drive the road and see where it takes me. Yeah.
And this is not a Sunday drive. This
No.
is just any day of the week. I'm
Yep.
just gonna take this thing and see how far it goes.
Yep. And just take
Interesting.
girlfriend at one time, she was adventurous like me. We were on the Altamont Pass. We were just driving. We were going to go somewhere, driving, and we saw this road. And I'm like, hey, let's take this road. It was right off the freeway, and we just drove it. And somehow we wound up somewhere in Walnut Creek. And we wound up at, it was some town. It was like a little town over there. I don't even know the name of the town. All I know is that this town was like going back in time. It literally, in the center of the town, there was a park, and they had a band. It was like something you see from Back in the Future type of thing. And there was this festival going on. And we went there, man, and they had jelly, and they had barbecue, and you could get free this and free that. That's what I'm talking about, dude. I like to do stuff like that.
Okay.
I like to get on roads and see where it takes me, and usually it winds me up into some pretty cool places. I've been to some pretty weird places where I'm like, I need to get out of this town. You know when you drive in the town and the people turn their heads like the children of the corn, and they're all looking at you. I'm like, yeah, maybe I better make a detour and get out of here.
This is not for me.
No.
So one of the things that I know that you are doing outside of work, and it's not really a hobby, but it's certainly a love that you have, is Thor.
Yes.
So maybe could you give us kind of a synopsis as to what exactly Thor is and what its purpose is?
Well, the acronym for Thor, of course, is the House of Redemption. And when I always wanted to be a motivational speaker, and one of the biggest influencers of motivation was Martin Luther King for me. From a little kid, I said I want to be like him. And through the years, finally, I said I'm gonna push now to become a motivational speaker. And I said, now I got to come up with a name, something that's catchy, the House of Redemption. I just put the House of Redemption there, but I didn't put all the letters together. It was a fluke. I mean, I didn't think of like Thor. Now, okay, what can I put together with Thor? It just happened, and I looked. I'm like, oh my goodness, Thor. And then we went from there. And motivational speaking for me, man, is a gift. It's a passion. Again, helping people. It's my job. People are my business. I'm the opposite of Ebenezer Scrooge. Yeah, I hope I am. Catch me on a bad day, you like, yeah, he is Ebenezer Scrooge. But I mean, overall, all jokes aside, helping people. Not only helping people, but helping people to manage their lives, to manage their goals, and to manage their steps in how to get to that goal, whether it be time management, whether it's learning how to thinking positive self-thought, even telling them, hey, you might need to go get a counselor. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist. I don't try to act like that. I let them know I'm a success coach, motivational speaker. And so that's my love, man. That's my love.
So another thing I know that you're involved in is I on Modesto, which is not EYE, but it's I, as in you.
Yep.
So what are some of the things that you cover with I on Modesto?
Well, with I on Modesto, our focus is on the Modesto area and around. It could be around Houston or even further than that. Basically, our focus is on the people within our community, organizations, groups of people, individuals that are doing something in our community. Modesto always gets the negative end. We're only known for Lacey Peterson or Scott Peterson, or meth or problems. There's more to Modesto than that. And so I just want to try to bring a light to show you, like, yeah, that's not all what Modesto. Yeah, that's part of Modesto, but take a look at this other part when there are people actually doing things that are major. And I point to that. I point to some of the challenges as well that we have within our community. I am not, I don't take sides. So therefore, I don't go to the left. I don't go to the right. I am objective in the information that I'm putting out there. What you do with that information is up to you. Yep, that's it. I on Modesto.
But just putting a positive light on
Yep.
on the things that are going on. Well, and not only a positive, but maybe some of the things that people don't think about on a daily basis.
Yeah, I got to tell you this, though, and maybe people don't know this, but, I've known Brandon for a while, and Brandon is one of the influencers on Modesto.
Psh, whatever.
Yep, because we talked about it a while back ago, and, we talked about these things, and, I liked your energy. You always had the voice, and I'm like, man, it's just, you made me think like, this is possible. This is possible to happen. So I'm letting you know, brother, you have a hand in that, in bringing forth my ideas on I on Modesto.
Well, I appreciate it. So what is something that you pride yourself in?
You know what? One of the things that I consider pride myself in is helping people. That is a gift. It is a gift. And, having the ability to help to change someone's life is life-changing for me every time. I go into a situation thinking like, okay, I'm going to go and help this group of people, or I'm going to come in and help this person, and I'm going to teach them something. But every time that I go in to help, I learn something about myself. And the thing about it is, what I learned from myself, I take those trinkets of information and I help to better myself so that I can better other people, so that I can get better, so that I can better other people. That makes sense. Kind of like a dog chasing his tail with dividends.
Put that into your brain for a minute. Did you just hear what he said? It's like a dog chasing his tail, but with dividends.
Yep.
You better coin that phrase right there.
Right?
It's pretty good.
That's right.
That's pretty good. What motivates you?
What motivates me to speak to
Well,
people?
Just in general.
In general.
What motivates you to get up in the morning and to do what you do?
You know what, man? I'm going to keep it real with you. You know, they might have to edit this out, but it's Almighty God that gives me the power to get up to actually use my gift. Now, I'm going to keep it real with you. Sometimes I get up and guess what? I don't feel like getting up. Sometimes.
I think that's just human.
Yeah, I want to just keep hitting the snooze button. Like maybe there's an all-day snooze button because I don't feel like, not today. But I get up and I get out there and I push anyway. But the thing about it is where the drive comes from is because of those experiences of living in Oakland, dealing with racism, knowing what it is to be hungry, dealing with struggling in school, just the struggles of life has been quite a teacher. That shall I say? The professor of life has taught me a lot and has given me the tools necessary to help other people. And from that, it's the drive from that, the actually wanting to help people. Because when you help them, you don't get paid money, right? Well, I work a job where I do get paid, but a lot of times I don't get paid for it, and I'm not looking to get paid. But the pay is that when a student comes back to your office 5 years later, because you don't even know what effect you've had on the student, and then they come back 5 years later and they're married, and I graduated, I have my master's degree, I'm working this job. Thanks, John. Yo, you were there for me, dude. There's been a couple of times where, after they left, I had to close my office door and I was like crying. You know what I mean? Because you don't really know the effect you have on people until you get those aha moments when they come back and they actually talk to you. And that right there is better than an award. It's better than accolades. It's better than a title. It is that for just a few minutes, that mano a mano, that you had a conversation, that you changed someone's life. And that right there is fire, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Worth more than anything that you can get paid for sure.
Yeah.
What do you like about the MJC community as a whole?
Oh, man. Do we got enough time for this?
We'll keep it to 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So the challenge. The beautiful thing about what I like the community is, in the job that I work at, no day is the same. Every day is different with a different challenge. That is a plus. But it's also the people that I work around that are supportive, because we are like a family. We have Alejandra Espinosa, Mitch Miller. We call her Carmen Escobar because she cracks the whip, but it's Carmen de la Cruz, student workers. And now at the Rise Up Center, you have Glenn Stovall, Eric Ivory, and then there's individuals on the outside that are instrumental, that give me that push and that rise and that motivation. Tracy Potts is another one. I could go on and on and on, with the names, but it's that family vibe. It's that feeling of family. And, we're not up every day. It's not every day we wake up and we're like, yo, ho, 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 we're all happy, Right. It's sometimes life, and I'm not feeling my best. And people that are in tune with you are going to pick up on that. And they, my family, I call it my Modesto Junior College family, they pick up on that. And they say, hey, man, what's going on? Let's talk. What's going on? Come on to the office. And I don't care what the title of the person is in their position at Modesto Junior College. They will call me into the office because they see something. And they say, hey, man, let's talk. You all right? That right there, man, can't get a lot of jobs like that.
Where are some of your favorite places to eat?
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Around town here.
Oh, okay, around town.
Let's we'll keep it kind of,
Okay.
local.
I'm going to go right off the top. I'm going to start off with, you ready for this? Jessica's Taco Truck. Bam!
Where's that located?
Dude, it's on 7th Street. It's on 7th Street over there by the railroad tracks. What it used to be, I forget the building that was there. It burned down, but they're rebuilding it.
The Army surplus.
Yep, Army
right?
surplus store.
Over there. Okay,
right. Dude, I mean, there's other taco trucks over there that are killer, but Jessica is like the bomb. Second choice, Fuzio's.
Fuzio.
Yeah, Fuzio's.
Really?
Yeah.
You like the heat?
Yeah. Oh man, it was. You know what? Their calamari is to kill for.
Ooh.
Yeah. Good. I mean, good stuff. Calamari, delicious. I'm gonna say Doc's.
Barbecue.
Yep, Doc's Barbecue.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw that out there. Really good stuff.
They're
Definitely
off of
tasty.
Kansas, right?
Yeah, and let me tell you, I've had many tri-tip sandwiches, but let me tell you, I asked for a tri-tip sandwich, and this guy had chunks of meat. Not like where it's like shredded, I'm talking about like chunks of meat where you could take it out and chew on it. Just, yeah. I could go on and on because you asked a loaded question.
I know.
And the other place is not, I don't know if you could really call this like a restaurant, but it's Mr. T's Donuts.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, when you walk in there and the donuts are hot and fresh.
Oh, yeah.
And, you can't beat that.
Yep.
Nice. If you will, tell us a funny story or experience that you've had, either in your personal life or professionally.
Oh, man. It's funny but kind of spooky.
Oh.
And
this is not one of these roads that you've taken in the the road to nowhere, right?
Kinda.
Uh-oh.
It was well, back in the days when I first started living here.
Yeah.
I was a DJ also and an MC, and so we
Wait a minute. What was your MC name?
It was Wolf.
MC Wolf.
Yeah.
And you were
actually it was Mr. Wolf.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. They're Mr. Wolf. Some people
really?
were like, they were like, "Oh, Mr. Wolf, is that your?" No, that's my state. They were trying to figure out like his last name is Wolf, but yeah, Wolf. We DJ all around. We got this call, being DJs that we are,
yes.
And we had 2 gigs, so we had to split. And this was supposed to be a college party. Yeah, I was younger, and so me and my buddy Jaime, we loaded up the van, and we took off, and it was in the mountains. And so we took Highway 4. And Highway 4 started to get really windy and kind of dark. And, dude, it's like nighttime now.
Right before you get to, like, Angel's Camp.
Yeah.
Right, so you're in Copropolis.
Actually, we were up by Tehachapi.
Okay, all right.
No, not Tehachapi. I'm sorry. That's somewhere else. Moccasin.
All right.
Yeah, we were up with Highway 4, somewhere off of Highway 4, up by Moccasin. And me and my buddy Jaime, we're in the forest, dude, on the road, no lights, no nothing. You'll see a car once in a while pass by. I'm looking at my buddy Jaime, and I'm like, boy, these college kids, they really pick the weirdest places to party. And, we finally get to this weird town that had this water treatment plant where there was a river that ran literally right in front of the town. You had to cross the river into this town. And we went into the town, and I can remember we thought we heard music playing, and we saw a house on a hill. And we're like, that's the party, dude. Let's go. Yeah, we're pumped up now. We're fired up. We pull up in the driveway of this house, all the lights on, and the house is, no one lives there. I'm like, this is weird. And so we heard music, so I thought, but actually when we got out of the van, the only music that we heard was this weird pulse or beat from the power plant. Yeah. But it was coming from the power plant. Or the water treatment plant. And I'm like, this is weird. So let's go into town. We drive into town, and there's not even a dog out. No cats, nothing. All the lights are off in the neighborhood. There's cars out. We don't see nothing. And I'm like, you know what, Jaime? It's time to go.
You started getting them hairs standing up on the back of your neck, and you're like,
I'm thinking, like, is this like some Stepford Wives weird stuff? You know, is this Omen type? And so I'm like, Jaime, we need to get out of here. And this is no joke. And this is where the funny part is. We saw a man. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Phantasm.
yes.
Yeah, Phantasm.
Tall guy.
The tall guy.
Right.
We saw him.
he was right there,
Yeah.
huh?
He was driving as we're going across the bridge. This Cadillac, black Cadillac. And this guy, super pale. It's nighttime. He's wearing shade glasses. Dark shades. Drives by real slow. He turns his head really slow and he looks at us. And I'm thinking, Jaime, it's time to go. And we gunned that old van all the way out. But, you know, when we were done, we were laughing. But it's like, yeah. Now, I don't know if that was funny, but it's funny now because we actually thought we were in some party town. We were like, yeah. We hear the music. No. You were in,
Did they call you up to let you know, hey, man, what
well,
happened?
Here's the whole thing. Back then, there was no cell phones. So we drove back to Modesto. We made it there probably around 10 o'clock, and we caught up with the rest of the team. We told them the stories, and they were just laughing. They were laughing because they're like, you idiots, you took the wrong turn. You're supposed to be in Sonora.
Oh.
Yeah, we went the opposite direction, you know, because all we want to do is party with the girls. So, you know what I mean? We're like, on our minds, like, time to party. And yeah, we were supposed to be in Sonora for Columbia College. Yeah.
And you found Mr. Phantasm himself.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
my
yep.
gosh.
Yeah. Quite an experience.
Who has been your biggest influence, either professionally or personally?
Man, I'd have to say my dad. My dad, and my mom, but my dad. As influence, my dad was a hard worker. He believed in education. He believed in hard work. Like I said, he had his own business. He had several businesses that some worked out, some didn't, and he would just, work another job. But from a kid, the work ethic that he instilled within me, it's still there today. I mean, like I was telling you earlier, a lot of kids in the morning, they would get up, for summertime, and they'd be playing. Not my dad. My dad's like, okay, boy, it's time to get up. We're going to eat some grits, bacon, eggs. We're going to work. And it's like, yep. And but it was cool because it was kind of like an adventure riding with my dad in a pickup truck. And, we'd go and paint houses or even remove garbage from people's backyards because they were renovating houses. And then eventually he got into, his own construction and everything else. But it was that waking you up in the morning and working. Even on the weekends when there was no business, hey, we had stuff to do in the yard. If it's not mowing the lawn, then you're up on top of the roof cleaning the gutters. My dad was just the type of guy that didn't let any grass grow under his feet. And so he introduced me to something called work ethic. And it's that work ethic, man, that keeps me today. It is that work ethic from early lessons from my dad that I have learned. So that's where a big influence is.
That drive is so important.
Yep.
You are correct. If you had a free plane ticket to anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
Man, there are a couple of places that I'd like to go. You know, everybody wants to go to the Bahamas. I want to go to Hawaii. You know, I want to take a cruise here. But really and truthfully, I would like to take a plane trip to Africa, man.
Okay.
To the motherland, dude, and to go and see. And eventually I will. That's my bucket list right there. I want to have the opportunity to see what life is like over there. And two would be Machu Picchu. Yeah. And in that southern region of South America, I would like to take the tours of what we call that are kind of off the grid. I was looking on the Travel Channel years ago. You can take those trips. They're cheaper, actually, but the necessities of comfort are not there. You kind of rough stuff, and I'm good with that. I'm cool with that, you know. I'd like to go off the grid to really feel and witness the country. And then last, I would like to take a cruise, not to Hawaii or the Bahamas or Mexico, but to Alaska. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, Alaska, dude. That's where I would like to go. Check it out.
Just to experience the different. I mean, the climate is completely different.
Oh
isn't it?
yeah.
Are you a fan of the cold? Or,
I am.
Okay.
I love cold weather. Probably get that from my dad. You know, he's originally from Chicago, and so it gets real cold up there. And I like cold. Summer, I mean, I can deal with it, but, you know, 29 degrees, I'm cool with that. I'm pretty comfortable with cold weather. Yeah.
I'm going to take you snowshoeing as soon as all the snow falls this winter.
We talked about that, snowshoeing.
We're going to have a good time.
I better start running because I hear that's quite...
It will destroy your legs. I'm not even going to lie.
I might have to take some like leg steroids or something, you know, to get ready hanging around Brandon.
If you had only 3 albums that you could listen to for the rest of your life, which 3 albums would those be and why?
I would say, oh boy. Number 1, I don't know the album that it's on, but it's Marvin Gaye. And Marvin Gaye, it's the song Troubled Man.
Okay.
I don't know what album that's from, but if I had an opportunity, it would be that. Number 2 would probably be Howling Wolf. Man. And I don't, you see, when you say albums, I never really paid attention. But I'd put it this way, the artist, if I had to listen to on an album, Howlin' Wolf, and then last but not least, it would be maybe Kiss.
Really?
Yep.
What?
Yeah, dude. When I was growing up, Kiss first came out. We were kids, and you know, we were listening to rock and roll, Pink Floyd, all of that type of stuff. It was cool.
So then this is 74, 75.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay, right.
Kiss came out, and all of the parents were scared because they're like, what are our kids listening to? And you know, it was like shocking. You know,
Wow.
Gene Simmons, with these, you know, with these platform shoes and tongue long and blood. For a kid, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, and for those that you don't that may not be aware. The parents right away deemed them knights in Satan's service. I think that was what KISS stood for. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Is there a particular album that sticks out? Was it their
Alive?
That's
Yeah.
the album that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, dude. The double album, and, you know, they had all the pictures on there. And, you know, looking at, and I would just stare for hours due to Gene Simmons. And you know, it's like, this is far out. And then hearing the music, I'm like, oh, the music is good too. You know?
Rock and roll, man.
Rock and roll, dude. Oh, yeah. I'm old school, so yeah.
Nice. I love it. Well, John, do you have any parting words of encouragement for us?
My parting words are this, and it comes from just life experience. Do not be afraid to take chances. And in taking those chances and jumping in, as we say, into the deep end, make sure that you surround yourself with positive people. In other words, when you're making these big moves, you're making these life-changing decisions in life, don't do it alone. Make sure you surround yourself with people that literally have an investment in you. People that will lift you up rather than tear you down. People that will fill your cup up rather than drink it, leaving you empty. However, you also want to hang around people that will hold you accountable. They'll get on your case like, hey, John, bro, you're not towing the mark. You need to pick it up and let's keep it moving. And on the end of that, when surrounding yourself with positive people, surround yourself sometimes with people that may seem smarter than you, may have more experience than you, because in that you will grow because you're stretching. That's my advice. And never give up. Don't waste time. As my father said, he says, when you waste time, in essence, time is wasting you. So that's my little spiel on that.
Thank you so much for giving us a window into your life and your experiences. And I appreciate you, John, and thank you again for being on the podcast.
Yes, it's been a pleasure, brother.
Well, the winds are picking up and the barnacles are collecting on the bow. Time for us to set sail, me hearties. This episode was brought to you by the House of the Rising Sun, produced by Mr. Solo, edited by that bird that continues to eat all my crackers, Patchy the Parrot, and music by Beans the Magical Fruit. Hey, make sure to continue to tell all of your coworkers about the podcast. Get them involved on the Facebook page and let me talk to them so we can hear their story as well, because we all want to learn a little bit more about the people we work with. And remember, as always, keep your booty close and your sword sharp, lest you find yourself swabbing the deck on the bottom of Davy Jones's locker. Until we meet again.